guys, my name is Majid. I'm from Canadian Pacifico Seaweeds. I just wanted to chat about global warming, about seaweed. This big planet that we're on is mostly what? Does anyone know? It's mostly that, the ocean. The problem is we're adding way too much carbon way too fast, so our ocean is getting overfilled with carbon. You know, when we're talking about global warming, we're not just talking about the air, we're talking about the temperature in the ocean increasing. But we've got about 5 to 10 years where we can turn this thing all the way around and take it back to what it was like before I was even around. But what we're trying to do is figure out how to take this kelp and do cool things with it, like make food so you can feed people, make agricultural products which you feed to your farm animals, fertilizer which you can feed to your plants. But most of all, growing lots of seaweed could reduce our carbon footprint in a big way. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be involved with conservation, with the wildlife. When I finished university, I promised myself I'd work any odd job for a couple months, make some money, and move on to the next thing. And the very first odd job I got was working in Banfield. This is where everything happened. This is where all those little dreams came together. I fell in love with the town, fell in love with the people. I think as a community here, whether you're retired or still working, fishermen, students, there's one common denominator, and that's the ocean. That's what brings us all together. My dream now is to create a huge network of seaweed farms that could help fix climate change. To me, kelp farming is where science meets farming. We want to ensure that we're meeting the needs of today without affecting generations of tomorrow. So we've got a lot of learning to do, but the potential is magnificent.
Off British Columbia's coast, there are 630 native species. We really don't yet understand the diversity of those species. I can guarantee you there are species unyet discovered, and there are products from that seaweed that are unyet discovered.
The underwater forest, seaweed, are an extraordinary resource because they take CO2 out of the water to turn it into tissue. Tons and tons and tons of tissue that grow rapidly, that grow 30 times faster than terrestrial forests. Massive carbon drawdown is the greatest benefit that I see from seaweed expansion.
Cattle, they produce a compound called methane, one of the biggest contributors of greenhouse gases. Some people think it's more than transportation itself.
Feeding seaweed to cattle can actually reduce these emissions by up to 90%.
If we could farm enough seaweed and feed it to the cattle, they'll produce less methane, therefore better for the environment.
Commercial fisheries today are experiencing hardship because of our decline in wild stocks. This would be a way of still continuing to have like a fishing culture within your community that is hopefully more sustainable long term.
This opportunity is so big, like this is it. This could change the world. But if it's not done correctly, we can mess the opportunity up. So we need to walk with care, walk with intent. It needs to be in harmony, and there needs to be someone overseeing that. I think that oversight should be the people that live in those communities, the people that have been involved in that natural world.
We will need the voice of coastal communities. We need science, we need industry, we need engineers. We at OceanWise believe that we can play a role in ensuring that the industry receives the best possible scientific guidance on how to maximize environmental returns, where to place their farms so that carbon sequestration is maximized, where to place their farms so that fisheries benefit, and how to carry out an operation that is safe and produce a product that is safe for everybody.
I can stare at the ocean all day long. I think it's amazing that we know so little about it, and I want to be a part of knowing more about it. And I also really feel strongly about protecting it and using my life to somehow find a way to leave it better than it is now.
I think we can generate a new wave of farmers that are going to take the lessons we learned from the past and change the way we eat and change how we produce food. This is it. Seaweed farming can change the world.